Check this out. Oh, I'm so excited. That's the most opally opal I've found yet. So many beautiful rocks. That's a nice thing to find on my way out. Well, we are back at the Spencer Opal Mine in Spencer, Idaho. Last time I was here, I kind of didn't really know what I was looking for, and so I had the opportunity to come back. I'm going to see if I can find some more opal and learn how to use it. Come along. This is a great example of not opal and opal. These two little dots on the top here are opal, and the rest of it, though it's white and a little bit shiny, are not. So you can see that it looks like that old-fashioned milk glass. If you've ever watched any of the mudlarking channels, the milk glass was a thing that they used to pack stuff in, and that is exactly what it looks like. Here's an itty-bitty sliver. Much nicer than the rock outside of it. I think this is, it's kind of hard to tell because it's got that iron staining on the outside. It might not be. We'll just have to get it out of there and see what we can find. I was just going to get up and go walk around when this little baby presented itself. You can see how thin the opal layer is, and that's why they sometimes do triplets and doublets to try to cover up that layer and protect it so that you can see how beautiful it is. It's cooler today, and so Kava, I had her out here for a little bit, but she just wanted to go back to the Jeep, so that's where she is. And so I'm taking a look at some of this stuff for the first time because she's so neurotic that when I would disappear from view, she'd freak out. I don't know where she thought I was going, but anyway, so we'll see what we can find. Trying something different, because everybody has been digging holes in here, and then there's rocks around the holes, which I know are probably just their rejects. So I'm going to try digging my own hole, which I know is probably what I'm supposed to do in the first place, but it's kind of hard digging. This stuff is a little bit like concrete, so with my little bitty garden trowel, it's not super easy, but we'll see how it goes. So the advantage to this, I think, is that you're then seeing rocks that nobody else has looked at. The disadvantage, of course, is that it's very dirty and slow. So I'll probably do a combination of both. All right, another change in technique. I have loosened up a whole bunch of rocks from underneath the surface of the dirt, and I'm using the bucket that they're giving me to just wash them off one at a time rather than trying to spray them all, because that's just taking forever. I'll let you know how it goes. There's a little bit of opal in there, and there's a little bit of color in there, so that's exciting. Some more opal here. Possibly even a little flash. We'll see. Check this out. Oh, I'm so excited. That's the most opally opal I've found yet. I hope you can see the flash on that. All right, even though this is not a terribly exciting way to dig, I have to say the water in the bucket and the digging in the dirt is probably the most productive way to find these. A lot of times if you're just looking on the ground, people have already been over them, so good to know. This one you can actually see the layers. Really hoping that's got some color in it. Another thing that I think I'll bring the next time I come is a classifier. What that could do is you could take these rocks here and you could just sift out the dirt and then dump them in the water, and it would be a lot more efficient. I was just thinking I was getting bored with this pile and I might move on. And look what I found. Flashy, flashy, flashy. Kava has decided to join me on top of the pile, which is apparently better than the Jeep, even though it's in direct sun. Okay, I am a little tired of digging in the dirt. So I'm gonna go see if I can use this technique on some of the surface stuff, see if that works. The bonus to this technique is that you get to put your hands in nice cold water. They do have a hose just right outside the pile here, so you can find, or you can get fresh water whenever you want it. My goodness, I guess it always pays to look at the bottom of the bucket. This was in the kind of the loose gravel at the bottom of my sludge. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty this is. I don't know if it goes in any farther than just this. It would be nice if it did, but it sure is pretty. It's so hard to stop, but I think I better. I've been here about 3.5 hours. I found, oops, can't see it. I'll show it to you in a second. I found a big coffee cup full of opals, and I am collecting some other stuff that is not opal but is cool, and I think I must be done. Well, unfortunately, this looks like it's about paper thin, maybe a little fatter here. I'm just going to try smoothing down the top and see what happens. I'm guessing that it'll just go right through and we'll get nothing at all, but it's worth a try. This is interesting. There's color lines here, and you can see there's a very faint one up at the top here. But I also just discovered that there's opal coming over here, so maybe underneath this sand here, there's actually some opal. That would be cool, because then I could be able to cut it down. Still pretty not sure that there's much there to rescue, but I'll give it a shot. I'm actually starting to feel kind of excited because look, this goes back all the way to here. This is still kind of sandy stuff, but it's coming down on this side too, so maybe we actually have a pretty decent chunk here that we can take down and get some color out of. I sure hope so. Well, this is kind of a puzzler. I keep taking this stuff down, and I'm being really super careful because I don't want to, I don't want to do anything bad to the actual opal. I think what I'm going to do is just start at the top and cut down. And if there's opal all the way through there, then great. If not, then I will cut down to the color here. It's just, I guess I'm not experienced enough to be able to get this through the sand confidently. So I am going to go ahead and cut downward, and hopefully we'll get to these color lines and have something beautiful. Well, this is so far looking like the opal itself is not super deep into there. It's very odd that it comes all the way over here, so I guess I'll just keep grinding down and see what happens. This is the potch, this lighter colored stuff, and this is the sand, and this is the opal. You can see it's got some color bands here. So we'll just keep on grinding on, see what happens. Well, this is driving me crazy. You can see there's very nice opal right here, and there's very nice opal right here, but I keep grinding down and down and down. So maybe the shape of it is like that. That would be too bad. I'd love it if I could just grind through this and suddenly there was a nice big opal that I could deal with. Okay, looking closely, I can see that there is sand here, but the opal does continue across there, so maybe I can keep grinding down and it'll be what I want it to be. This takes a really long time, and it's I have to be very patient, which, as you probably know, is not one of my strong points, but I'm going to keep up. Okay, I am beginning to think that this and this are not connected. I'm going to keep grinding down because I still want to see that color line, see what it looks like. I'm also grinding from the bottom, and we're just going to keep on going and make it as pretty as we can and learn as much as we can along the way. Okay, I have gotten about as close to the color line as I dare. I'm afraid of going over the color line. It's such a tiny piece that it's just not, I think it's not gonna happen. Okay, well, clearly I'm not gonna get anything really productive out of this, but I wanted to show you that this is the color line on the bottom here. It's got this kind of cool green sheen to it. It's got a little flash. And then the color line on the top here, the red, just never really showed much. And I think it's probably pretty thin, might be some red sparkles. If this was a bigger piece, it would be worth grinding and grinding and grinding, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. This has been a tremendous learning experience, and now I can take that information, ooh, isn't that pretty? Now I can take that information and work on the next one. This is one that I think I'm just going to leave on the stone. It's very curved, so I'm just going to try to smooth it out and make it shiny. Probably won't get any color because the lines are going this way, but I will see what we can see. It goes a lot better if all you're trying to do is smooth and polish. Isn't that beautiful? I think what I'm going to do now is just cut the back of it off, flatten it out, and I'll use it as a pendant of some kind. That is really nice. Not traditional classical opal for sure, but I like it. Next up, this little gem. And you can see a little bit that it's got some color in it. We're going to see if we can bring it down to the point where we can see that. You can see there's a teeny tiny bit of flash there. I've taken it down pretty much to the color line, so I'm not expecting to get any more than that. Still, it's better than nothing. Don't really even see any color in this one, but we're going to get the orange off of there and see what happens. Not terribly impressive, but still a learning experience. Let's take a look at this one. It's kind of a strange one, isn't it? Got some of that manganese crystals on the top, iron manganese, but it looks like it might have some stuff here, and there's a dip here, so it's going to be really interesting to try to get anything out of there. It even looks like that's sand rather than opal, so we'll see. This one turned out really interesting. You can see the layers, no color, but then that orange that I ground off of it kind of carries through. This part here is definitely opal. It's just kind of beautiful. I'm pretty nervous about this one because it is the opaliest opal I've found. And what I'm going to do is just try to take the face of it off. Eventually, I'm going to put a quartz layer on top of it to protect it so that I can make a dome and make it all shiny and stuff. So hopefully we don't wreck this one. Can't see it very well in this light, but there are sparkles all the way through here, and then on the side here, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, I am going to make this into a triplet. I have cut it so that there's the rock on the back and then the opal, and then we are going to put on top of it this piece of optical quartz that a very nice man named Don sent to me. with some explanation about how to do this. So hopefully, once that is on there, then what we can do is grind it into a nice dome and it will be beautiful.
These are a few more finished pieces from this batch. You can see there are some cracks in the opal, and what I've done to take care of that is to use something called optical, which is a crack fracture sealer for gems and minerals. And so they will, despite their cracks, be pretty sturdy once they are finished. I'll list the pendants on my Etsy store for all you wire wrappers out there. The store is called Katie Did Rocks, and the link is in the description below. I love the little, these are common opal, but I love keeping the matrix on. It just kind of gives the stone a quality all its own. And this is blue opal from the Blue Opal Thunder Egg Bed in Owyhee, Oregon.
I hope you enjoyed yourself. I have to say, practice makes perfect. If you're trying to learn something, keep on doing.